Hey mommies, how are you? I hope that everybody is having a great day. And I'm sorry that I haven't been on for like a while. A million things have happened. I was away at the beginning of the year. I'm back now. And my phone smashed in Disney too, so I had to get a new phone. So a lot of exciting stuff that has been happening. But I wanted to just chat with you moms because I've been kind of simmering over like a theory that I've kind of developed. Hey Viviana, how are you? Because as I was traveling for quite a while. I was away back home in Colombia, and then we came back and we had like family members over, quite a lot of family members over, so there was a lot of commotion in our house. And then we went on a few trips with our family members too, so our kids had so many changes in those weeks. And it was kind of I know that both my kids are kind of at different stages, but technically they're both toddlers now. Because Isaac is almost 15 months and Samuel is almost 3. So it was really interesting though to see, obviously now Isaac is coming into a new stage where he's doing like little tantrums and he's a lot more connected with his emotions and his surroundings, the same as Samuel is, which is 3. But what I kind of started to see was that even though there were so many changes and so many things going on, Isaac was always so much more calm, and he was much more kind of like adaptable and flexible, that we had changed the routine and that things were different and not the way that they usually are. And I kind of started to figure out that even though children that are breastfed or babies that are breastfed kind of can go on a routine. I find that breastfed babies don't have such a rigid routine as maybe formula-fed babies do. So I started to kind of realize that I kind of observed both my kids, and I realized that the differences between those two things or their reactions or their emotions, is that there's always kind of like to rewind a little bit, kids really need kind of a routine because it kind of creates security for them. It creates boundaries, it creates rules, and those things signify kind of like security. They know what's going to happen next. They have control, and when you have control, you feel safe and you feel like, you kind of have I've got this type of thing. When you don't have that, when you kind of go out of whack, out of your routine, new things, you're exposed to new emotions and new things, that's when kids kind of tend to go out of whack a little bit, and then you have more tantrums. And that's why sometimes it's so difficult to travel with kids. You have to kind of learn to be flexible with them. But I think the major thing that I kind of discovered is that that's not so hard when you have a breastfed baby, because the security is right here. And as long as that's there, as long as they're breastfeeding and they can feel their mom close, and they have that that connection that they've always had and that is always there, then the world could just go upside down, do whatever it wants to do. They feel safe. That's their home base. So as long as the boob's there, mom's there, and that connection is there, then everything else is fine. So because like I said, Isaac was so chilled out. He didn't really have any like meltdowns or anything like that. As soon as he started to obviously feel tired or exhausted or whatever, I would just put him on the boob, and then that would be it. He would be fine. And I think also it kind of made me realize that that's why it's kind of so important that we breastfeed our kids for as long as we can. I mean, if we reach that 2-year mark or beyond, then it's amazing, because you don't have to put your child or your toddler through all that strain when all these new emotions and all these new surroundings come along, because home base is always going to be there. So it kind of made me realize that, and it was really interesting observing them both. And now we're at home now, everything's back to normal, and Isaac is just back to normal. I started his kind of routine that we had to put him on his crib, because we're kind of transitioning him into his room, and he's absolutely fine. Whereas all the hard work that I had invested with Samuel to get him to sleep on his own has kind of gone reverse, and he goes to bed, he sleeps there for like 10 minutes, and then he pops back into our bed. Where Isaac doesn't have that because he has his security, which is the boob, home base. So it's such a difference, and was so interesting. I just wanted to get your mom's opinions, because we have a lot of moms in the groups that have, you know, a lot of different kids, or you've gone through different breastfeeding journeys, or you've had formula fed babies and breastfed babies. So just wanted to get your opinion, but just to give you some tips also, because all kids are different, and it is really important that you kind of make life a little bit easier for you. And obviously you have to travel, or you have to make plans, or things have to change. So I just had some little tips that I've learned and that have kind of helped me too, and helped me really, actually me keep my sanity. So some of those things are, for example, set examples. That's number one. So make sure that the way that you react, your kids absorb that, and that's how they internally end up reacting to things too. So make sure, it doesn't mean that you have to pretend that you're not scared or pretend that you're not aggravated. It's acknowledging how you feel and say it, you know, say, oh, you know, I'm a little bit upset because so-and-so happened, but you know what? I'm going to do this instead. So it's going to be okay. You know, we're going to do this activity instead. So acknowledge how you're feeling or what's going on, and come up with possible solutions. So that's number one, set examples, and, you know, kind of take control of your reactions. Number two, try and be predictable but flexible. So put in place your routine, that's fine, but try and be flexible when things don't go the way, you know, that they were supposed to go. So you still have that safety factor, that the routine's going on, and rules and boundaries which make kids feel safe, but you can change things around. Like, for example, you know, on the weekdays we have dinner at the table, all of us together, but it's Saturday today, so you know what? Let's all go on the sofa and let's put on a great movie and let's have pizza on the sofa. So we change things around a little bit, and that's okay. So that type of thing too. So be predictable, have a, you know, routine or schedule, but be flexible with it too. And then to make it easier, help your kids, to make change easier for your kids and to become more adaptable. Don't like tippy-toe or try and, you know, arrange everything or have everything perfect for when, you know, you go out. So you don't have to have the meal that he always has when you're out. You know, if you don't have that, then, you know, we always have tacos when we go out. But you know what? Today we're not in that area, so we're gonna have a salad. You know, we're gonna do something different, and that's okay. So what I'm saying is, don't try and make everything so that your child doesn't get upset. Don't avoid situations that naturally have to come up. It's not, you didn't intend for that, but that's what the situation is. So don't think you can or you have to protect your child from getting upset. They are going to get upset, and that's what it's all about, teaching your child that even though they're disappointed or they're upset, you know, life goes on and they can still be happy. So that's really important, and that will make a big difference for both you and your child, so you can get over the hurdles and over the bumps easier too. And the last thing is kind of like I said, remember that your child has no control over things. You control their life essentially. So the only thing that they control is that they know what's coming next. So they have a routine, they have a schedule, and that's why they feel security and they feel, you know, that safety factor. So always kind of take that into consideration and be considerate with your child. You know, you're in Disney, well, I was in Disney, walking all day long, doing all this amazing new things, and you know, my child's exhausted, he's tired, there's a million people walking around. So be a little bit sympathetic with your child. Don't try and become the mom that's always telling them off or always upset. So have a little bit of flexibility with your child too, and try and kind of, you know, come to a meet-up point too. And those are my tips. So I just wanted to share those with you moms, because I've learned lots of new things while I've been traveling, and because, like I said, I can kind of compare how my children react differently. One is like I guess extended breastfeeding. I hate to call it that, but the other one wasn't. So it's kind of different, and I can definitely see lots of different reactions between the both of them in the way that they are developing. So just wanted to share that with you mommies. Bye.